There's something electric about Aries, something you feel before you even understand it. They walk into your life like a spark, like a warm gust of wind, like a sudden shift in the room's energy. And even if you can't explain it, you notice them. Aries makes you feel wide awake. They're bold without trying, honest without hesitation, and full of life in a way that pulls people toward them like a magnet. But right behind that bright flame is something most people overlook: a softness, a vulnerability, a heart that bruises faster than they'll ever admit. And that contradiction, fire on the outside, tenderness inside, is exactly what makes Aries unforgettable. They're the sign people remember, even long after everything else fades. Most people think they understand Aries because they seem so easy to read. But trust me, you only see the surface. Today, we're peeling back 3 layers. The best of Aries, the worst of Aries, and the deeply human truth beneath their fire. Let's begin. Aries has a presence that feels alive. When they're around, conversations get louder, ideas get bigger, and life feels a little more exciting. They're the sign that brings motion into stillness. They take stagnant energy and flip it into something vibrant. Their enthusiasm is contagious. Aries doesn't just start things, they ignite them. They spark creativity, courage, spontaneity. People feel braver around Aries, more willing to take risks, more willing to be honest. What makes Aries so magnetic is their authenticity. They don't hide behind facades. They don't calculate their words before they speak. What you see is what you get, raw, unfiltered, honest. It's refreshing in a world full of masks. Their courage shows up not only in big decisions but in tiny moments. In the way they say what others are too afraid to say. In the way they choose action instead of waiting. In the way they leap even when the landing isn't clear. Aries doesn't fear beginnings. They fear stagnation. They're also fiercely protective. If Aries cares about you, they'll stand in front of danger without thinking twice. They defend people they love with a loyalty that burns bright and loud. They'll fight for you even when you won't fight for yourself. And beneath the fiery determination, there's genuine warmth. Aries loves passionately, not quietly, not subtly, but with an intensity that makes you feel chosen, cherished, and seen. Their affection is spontaneous, vibrant, and full of life. But the fire that makes Aries intoxicating can also burn. Their impulsiveness can lead them into situations before they've thought things through. Their honesty, while refreshing, can sometimes cut deeper than intended. Aries speaks fast, reacts fast, feels fast, and not everyone can keep up. They get frustrated easily, especially with people who overthink or hesitate. To Aries, life is happening right now. Waiting feels like losing. Hesitation feels like fear. And fear, to Aries, feels unacceptable. Their emotions burn hot and bright. They flare up quickly, but they fade just as fast. Aries doesn't hold on to anger for long, but the people around them might take longer to recover from the impact of their outbursts. They're independent to a fault. Aries hates feeling controlled, restricted, or dependent on anyone. They want freedom, freedom to explore, to try, to fail, to express, to be. And when someone tries to box them in, Aries will push back with more force than expected. But beneath the fiery reactions, there's a truth that most people miss. Aries burns quickly because they feel deeply. They react instantly because emotions hit them like lightning. They lash out not because they don't care, but because they care so much it overwhelms them. And this leads to the deepest, quietest truth about Aries. All that fire. All that confidence. All that passion. Is protecting something incredibly fragile. Aries has a softness they guard fiercely. They're sensitive, more sensitive than they appear. They get hurt easily, but they heal in private. They're afraid of not being enough, afraid of disappointing others, afraid of being seen as weak. So they cover the softness with strength, with speed, with noise, with bravado. Aries wants love, but they don't want to chase someone who doesn't want them back. They want loyalty, but they won't show how much it matters. They want to feel chosen, but they pretend they don't need reassurance. They move fast because slowing down means feeling everything at once. And Aries feels deeply, too deeply. Their emotions are intense, immediate, and consuming. They don't simmer, they erupt. Aries hates being misunderstood because they rarely explain themselves. They speak a language of instinct, not analysis. They expect people to understand their intentions. You should know I didn't mean it that way. But not everyone speaks the language of fire. And here's something even deeper. Aries is afraid of being forgettable. Not because they want attention, but because connection means everything to them. They want to leave an imprint on the people they love, a memory, a feeling, a spark. They fear drifting into the background of someone's life. They fear being replaced. They fear giving their heart to someone who doesn't value it. But instead of admitting these fears, they cover them with intensity, passion, jokes, energy, anything to keep the fire burning bright enough to distract from the vulnerability underneath. Aries carries insecurities, wounds, and old battles they never talk about. Their independence is sometimes a shield for loneliness. Their strength is sometimes a mask for fear. Their confidence is sometimes a performance they hope one day becomes real. And yet, their heart remains open. Even after betrayal, disappointment, or heartbreak, Aries still chooses to love boldly. They don't let pain turn them cold. Aries rises again. Always. They're built to start over, to try again, to push forward even when the world feels heavy. Loving an Aries is an adventure. It's unpredictable, passionate, and deeply alive. They won't give you quiet stability, they'll give you motion, honesty, and heart. They'll challenge you, inspire you, frustrate you, and adore you all at once. And if you match their passion, if you understand their fire, if you see the softness they hide, you'll experience a love that feels like sunrise, bright, warm, and full of possibility. Aries isn't easy. Aries isn't simple. Aries isn't quiet. But Aries is real. And real is rare. So ask yourself. When you think of Aries, do you see the fire? Or the glow behind it? The fighter? Or the heart that keeps choosing love? Because once you see all three layers, you'll never look at Aries the same way again.